Hey there, today we're going to peel back the layers on the technology we all use every single day. You know, our phones, our laptops. We're going to demystify what's really going on inside these amazing devices. So let's just jump right in with the most basic question there is.
I mean, it kind of feels like magic, doesn't it? One little tap and a whole world of information just appears. But here's the thing. It's not magic at all. It's actually a beautifully logical process. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. So first up, let's get into how these machines actually think. And what might surprise you is that every single computer, from a giant server in a data center to the smartphone in your hand, follows the exact same set of fundamental rules. Okay, to make this super easy to understand, we're going to use an analogy. I want you to imagine your computer is like a world-class chef. It takes a bunch of raw ingredients and turns them into something amazing, all by following a very specific recipe. And this is that recipe in one picture. It's called the information processing cycle, and it has 4 main stages. You got input, processing, output, and storage. Let's dig into what each of those means with our chef in the kitchen. All right, let's walk through it. Input is you, giving the chef the ingredients. That's the data you type in with your keyboard or click with your mouse. Then processing. That's the chef, the CPU, actually doing the cooking, following the recipe. Output is that delicious final dish served up on a plate. That's the information you see on your screen. And storage, well, that's just putting the leftovers in the fridge to enjoy later, which is exactly like saving a file. Simple, right? Now, this brings up a really, really important distinction: the difference between data and information. See, data is just the raw, unorganized facts, a jumble of numbers and letters, kind of like a pile of uncooked ingredients. On its own, it's pretty much meaningless. Information is what you get after that data has been processed and organized into something useful. And this image, well, it just shows that transformation perfectly. Over on the left, you've got the raw data, just random numbers and symbols. Pretty useless, right? But after the computer does its thing, it becomes actual information: a specific time, a location on a map, or a message from a friend. The computer basically turns chaos into context. Okay, so we get the process now, but what is it that tells all those physical parts of the computer what to do in the first place? Well, let's move on and meet the ghost in the machine: the software. This quote really says it all. You could have the most powerful computer on the planet with the most expensive parts, but without software, it's just a very pricey paperweight. The software is the set of instructions. It's the master plan that brings all that powerful hardware to life. You know, the absolute simplest way to think about this is hardware is the computer's body, all the physical stuff you can actually touch, like the screen, the keyboard, the processor. Software, on the other hand, is the computer's brain, the apps and the operating system that tell the body what to do. One just can't work without the other.
And nowadays, that brain can live in a couple of different places. You've got installed software, which lives right there on your device's hard drive. And then you have web-based software, cloud applications like Gmail or Google Docs that you get to through the internet.
So, now that we get the core system, hardware is the body, software is the brain, let's take a look at how this whole package gets put together for different kinds of people and all their different needs. So, broadly speaking, computers come in 2 main flavors. First, you've got your non-portable workhorses, like desktop computers and servers. They're big, they're powerful, but they are meant to stay in one place. And then you have all the portable computers: laptops, tablets, smartphones, which pack everything into one battery-powered device made for life on the go. And the type of computer you choose really boils down to who you are as a user. Are you a personal user, just handling everyday stuff at home, maybe a SOHO or small office/home office user? Or are you a power user who needs top-of-the-line hardware for things like gaming or video editing? Or maybe you're a mobile user, always on the move. Your needs are what determine the right tool for the job. But modern devices are starting to blur these lines quite a bit. What happens when one single tool starts doing the job of 10 different things? Well, that brings us to a huge trend in technology today: convergence. The definition sounds a little technical, but it's a really simple and powerful idea. Convergence is just the trend of taking a bunch of once separate technologies, like a camera, a phone, and a GPS, and squishing them all together into one single device. And honestly, there is no better example of this than the modern smartphone. It is the ultimate digital Swiss Army knife. It's totally absorbed the functions and, in some cases, entire industries of dozens of other gadgets that we all used to have to carry around. I mean, just stop and think about it. That thing in your pocket is your camera, your video recorder, your map, your music player, and a seriously powerful computer all rolled into one. Now that is the magic of convergence. Okay, so for our final section, let's zoom all the way out. We've seen what's inside a computer, we've seen how it's all packaged together, but what's the broader impact of all this tech on our world?
Our deep reliance on them really comes down to three huge advantages. First, efficiency. They save us an unbelievable amount of time and resources. Then there's accuracy. They can do really complex tasks over and over and over without getting tired or making mistakes. And of course, communication, connecting us to pretty much anyone, anywhere, in an instant.
And all of that has completely changed how we live, how we work, and how we play. It has totally revolutionized how we share information, how we learn new things, and how we stay connected to the people that matter the most to us. But there's another side to this story. As our reliance on these devices just keeps growing, so does their environmental impact. And that's something we really have to talk about. The stark reality is that all of our old, discarded devices create something called e-waste. And this isn't like your normal trash. Old hardware can actually contain toxic chemicals that are really harmful to the environment. It's kind of the hidden cost of our digital lives. And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question. We all love the progress, the connection, the convenience. But as technology becomes even more essential to our lives, how are we going to innovate responsibly and manage the footprint we're leaving behind? That's something for all of us to think about.